what you want, when you want it, where you want it. This is The Mesh.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to StreetCircleDrive here on The Mesh. Thank you for joining us. It is supposed to be fall. It's kind of hot outside, but welcome to the first fall edition, if you will, of StreetCircleDrive. McNally.
It is a little toasty out there.
It's a little warm.
I mean, I'm not complaining. It's not 90-something, but...
This is true. Still a little warm for October 2nd.
Yes.
October 2nd. We're in October now.
All the way.
Sweating my tail off at the football game this past Saturday.
Yes.
Yeah.
We went to a
uber hot,
wonderful Pop Warner game on Saturday.
Hot.
Sweating.
Yeah.
I was like, usually don't like to sweat to watch Pop Warner. No offense to the Pop Warnerites out there.
But
I love my little girl and her cheerleading group. So
good for you.
It reminded my wife. I've always told Christina, don't take her to September football games, and that is why.
Yeah. Well, too late.
Live and learn.
Yes. Moose.
Hey,
what's up?
Oh, you living the dream here.
Don't I know it?
We do.
Don't I know it?
We are living that dream.
Well, we are so happy that you're listening. Hopefully you have heard some of our other shows and wanted to keep tuning in. And if you are new to the podcast, then welcome. We're the Hickory-centric podcast here on The Mesh. A lot of our other shows reach all other kinds of audiences. You can find out more about The Mesh and our shows at themesh.tv and also all over social media.
All over social media.
All over the social webs.
The internets.
Yeah,
yes.
the interwebs. We do, yeah.
What, Facebook, Instagram,
all
Twitter.
Of them, right? And you can catch all of the Mesh podcasts on a bunch of different platforms.
Absolutely.
Even on YouTube. Can you believe that?
You can. But you know the one I really dig? We're on Spotify.
Oh, Spotify.
I think it's a big deal.
It's kind of a big deal.
Spotify is a wonderful tool, if anyone's not using it, to play your favorite songs.
How much does it cost a month?
Like $14, I think. That's a family plan too. We all share. So my daughter
that's a
has,
good deal.
Oh yeah, my daughter has a.
So she can hear the crazy songs that you listened to when you grew up.
No, she has her own.
Can you
playlist.
filter? Oh, okay, good.
Yeah, she makes her own playlist, and my husband has his own, and I have mine. So yeah, none of us all like the same music. Like
it's just interesting because we were at lunch today talking about our top 5 songs.
Our top 5 songs.
I was just sure.
I think as a special treat, since this is going to be a little bit of a different episode, everybody pick one song that you mentioned today that was in your top 5 songs of all time. Just one. We mentioned several.
Yeah,
we all agreed that music plays a big part in all of our lives, and that if you had to list them all, obviously there'd be way more than 5. But just give me a sample. One song.
One song. I'll
Moose.
start. Okay, so we went into the absolute cauldrons of our musical taste today at lunch. And
yeah, I mean, I think we learned a lot about each other.
I think we did. There's nothing that will tell you more about a person than the music that they like, and that's just the way it is. I have a couple different eclectic tastes in music, but there's one, and I'm kind of cheating when I say it's one because it's really kind of a mashup of 2, and it does include
Cheater.
one of the songs that we talked about. Right, it's Bruce Hornsby's "Fortunate Son," and then in the live versions he plays that song, and he segues into "Comfortably Numb," the Pink Floyd song, and then he segues it back to "The Fortunate Son," and that little piece of music right there is one of my favorites.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was intense. I was
being very specific on. I like it.
Yeah,
Thanks.
it's good.
Because I failed to mention that at lunch today. I was like, I should have brought up that nerdy part right there. McNally, what do you think, McNally?
Well, this is something I struggle with. We talked about it. Mary Margaret's giving us a hard time on. I mean, 5 songs is tough. So then I feel like I got to mention the hits. Or else.
It was hard for me to really pick 5 bands.
All right, different stages of life.
Sure.
The one I think I said first was Human Nature, Michael Jackson. So,
sure.
Loved MJ growing up. Wanted to pick a non-commercial hit that everybody knows or likes, but
what does that take you back to? What is why Human Nature? What does that take you back to? What
It's a great question.
Middle school, high school?
No.
College?
Human Nature is probably like second or third grade.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was on the Thriller album. Maybe you're
Yes,
familiar.
I've heard of it. I've heard of said album. Yeah. Yeah, well, and I didn't mean to like throw you guys off on this
I think you
question.
had it set. You're like, all right, here are my 5. You were just like, I'm going to mess with these.
I told you from the
I
very
was
beginning
shocked,
that
yeah.
like this was no really test for me. Like this is just something. People fascinate the hell out of me. They really do. I love people, and I really think that this is like one of those questions where I can deep dive on somebody sometimes. And I mean, I learned a little bit about both of you today.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, she's keeping
What
what
more
she
you know?
learned to herself.
I know. I mean, I'm not necessarily going to share it with everybody yet, but I did learn some stuff, and I think that's important. If we're going to eat lunch
It's
together
a good
once every
conversation
other
starter.
week,
At a minimum, it's a good conversation starter. I've had the
Absolutely.
one with favorite albums,
Yeah.
but they can't be greatest hits or live. Like you have to pick
yeah.
straight up studio
First
albums.
release deal.
Yep.
I hear you.
That's a tough one too.
Yeah.
Well, tell us.
Yeah.
Mine,
your turn.
I know. I'm trying to
Yeah.
decide which one of the clear list that
See
I
how
told
she
you
pushes
guys.
that on us? I said, you guys go so I can.
Well, it started.
really
I already
The
go
whole
told you
thing
all
started
mine.
with her with a song that came on at lunch.
Yeah. St. Elmo's Fire.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's on there. That's definitely in my top 5.
Yep.
Yeah. St. Elmo's Fire, it's very inspirational. It's very moving.
Makes you want to just run down the beach and get that hard trot going like you're training for a little.
Well, that's Chariots of Fire.
Come on, McNally.
Hey, listen. I train hard. I train longer than a 6-minute song, Chariots of Fire. I need another one, and then maybe wrap it up with Eye of the Tiger.
I love it.
Don't sweat me.
Is Eye of the Tiger in your top 5?
No, it's not.
No.
It's not.
No.
Can't do it.
You had a lot of
But I'm
rap.
not-
You said you were going to have a lot of rap music
I would have
in
a
there.
lot of rap, and that's
Just
why
for,
it's
that's
5
your
is
age
tough.
range too, though. That's like that was kind of the
90s or
the
80s,
yeah
90s,
the height
yeah.
of understandable clean rap, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
no, not much trap. I'm not going to have too much in there, even though I can appreciate some every once in a while.
Yeah.
But it would be dominated
like
by
we're all-
Biggie and Dre. and-
right. I feel like we were all very different though in what we were naming.
Well, we
right?
grew up in the height of hip hop, though. In my honest opinion, I mean, but 95 through probably 92 to 98, 99 was probably the best years, in my humble opinion, that rap music was even made. When rap music was made, that was a crescendo.
Amen.
Yeah.
I hear it crescendo.
I mean, I don't know if that's how they would
This
describe
turned into a
it.
music
Your mom was a
review
music
podcast.
teacher, right?
Yeah.
That's
My
right.
mom was a music teacher.
I know. That's why.
Still is.
Yeah, once teacher, always teacher.
Clearly. Okay. Well, that's a little dive
Hey,
into our
tune back
soul,
in
I
to
guess,
find out the
right?
rest of our top 5 and future episodes.
Maybe we'll release some more. I
Everybody's
don't know.
sitting there with bated breath right now.
Yeah, I mean,
Number 2.
Hootie Bowman's out there drooling. Can't figure out what we're talking about.
He's like, "What's your favorite sandwich?"
What's your favorite life hack? Okay, so the reason we can so freely speak today is that we actually have a little bit of a different format to follow. We do not have a guest, which
Nobody wants to hang with us. Moose.
you. So this show was never intended to have a guest every single time. So we've done a couple episodes where there's been no guest before, and we followed our normal format. However, this time we're switching it up a little bit. We're introducing a new segment. We're
Yet
not
to be
quite
named.
sure what to call it yet. We're open to suggestions if anybody has any ideas. But we get so much joy out of our restaurant review segment that we're now going to take on some Hickory and local things to do,
Destinations, if you will.
adventures.
Happenings. Even.
Yes. Yes. So we're going to visit
It
places.
could be Street Circle Drive, happenings, destinations, and travels.
Moose. No.
And sandwiches.
And sandwiches. Street Circle Drive, destinations, and sandwiches.
Yes.
Love it.
Although, no sandwiches
I
for
don't
her.
really like
No,
sandwiches
I know.
that much.
That's unfortunate. I digress.
soups.
I'm sorry, Mary Margaret.
I do love soups. So if If you want to follow along, play along, write us on social media or send us a line somewhere saying the idea that you think we should call this segment. But really, we are going to go and visit the places that, first of all, we tell you a lot about whenever we do the events section. Places that are holding events, or maybe they have a celebration going on, or maybe it's just a cool place you should check out. So we have our first of that one today, of this series. And I'm going to let McNally kind of take us on the journey.
Absolutely. So this, like we said, do you have any ideas also on other places to go that we don't know all of the hidden gems we have in the region? So we'd love to get some more recommendations. So when this harebrained idea came to be, Mary Margaret came up with the idea of going to the Hickory Aviation Museum. Ham.
Yeah, Hickory. Ham.
So at the Hickory Regional Airport, which is right near the Crawdad Stadium, and we went after lunch today to go check it out. First thing to think of, free admission. So this is one of those things when you're sitting around and you have either some time to kill, some visitors, and you're driving around town, you have some children, you want to take them somewhere. This is a very good economical option for folks. So inside the terminal, I guess when you're facing it, the right-hand side is the entrance to the museum. Go in there, and it's got a lot of, I guess we were kind of calling it collectibles. Now, some of them at first glance, you might think, oh, that's a picture or secondhand. But we had some gentlemen today talking about how some of those were, actual original pictures of the Memphis Belle, I think it was.
Memphis Belle, yes.
And so there is a lot more history in there than I think I even remembered. Because I'd gone there before through Leadership Catawba program. Mm-hmm. But it's a lot of newspaper clippings. They will sit there and they highlight a lot of Hickory folks that have served in the military, as you can imagine, especially in any air operations, whether that's Navy or Air Force or Marines. You can see pictures, hear a little bit more about, and learn more about operations they served in, maybe the aircraft that they flew in. They also have some old uniforms.
I think, and most of those appeared to be based on the placards, like from local people as well.
Right.
It's all very focused around the people that served from this area.
You're right. That's a good point.
Cool.
They're not just going up some other traveling museum or some, DC or somewhere and just getting some quote unquote extra uniforms to bring down here just to say this is what they would wear.
Yeah.
They all did have little placards or notes next to them telling a story of whose uniform it was. Like even the first one, right when you walk in, we were looking at it. Gentlemen, I think it was a World War I uniform.
I'm not sure.
It talked about the gentleman whose uniform it was. He came back and he was the first motorcycle officer for the Hickory Police Department. So, I mean, it really does tie in that local flair with folks from here that served, especially in any of the air combat missions or military-focused divisions. So you go and they have model airplanes to show you, like we talked about, a bunch of pictures. We walked around and saw some missiles.
Right. Yeah. The crazy part about it is as soon as you walk in, it's basically chronological in the history of military flight. It starts off with World War I, and you start walking around, and it weaves into the World War I and II, and then the Vietnam Wars, and then more recent times, and they have flight suits and military missile shells,
ejector seats, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, McNally wouldn't pull the ripcord; he wouldn't do it.
I was waiting for you to.
It was chicken.
Sit down in it.
Well, I have pulled up on their website. They do have a little website, just to give a brief explanation before you go much further.
Please do.
That they are a 501c3, so that's great. Nonprofit, tax exempt, but their sort of mission, if you will, it says, we're dedicated to maintaining the facts and artifacts of the golden age of aviation. The museum provides a unique opportunity for all generations to learn and appreciate aviation history. We achieve this by adding new exhibits and aircraft on a regular basis. We invite you to come visit and even become a member of the Hickory Aviation Museum. With your help, we can all preserve the past for future generations to come. And if I'm not mistaken, the gentlemen that were in there were several that were in there. They were working, cleaning, talking to us. They were vets. And that's how it's always operated by vets, volunteer vets.
Yes. So and it doesn't really talk about, I mean, most of the planes and everything you see, it talks about the golden age of aviation. Like you said, I'm not sure exactly when that is. I would assume, almost like what Moose said, covers really, what would you say, World War I through
present day.
Present day,
Some,
but especially
present day being probably like
the 80s.
Probably like Iraqi freedom, probably like 95 or so, probably.
Not, of course, aviation in general. It didn't have like commercial, and there weren't like, some stewardess outfits and other things that you might see in more of a commercial airline museum sort of setting. It was very much a military focused museum. The coolest part is going outside. They had, I don't know, what do you think, 15?
Yeah.
A dozen, 15 planes?
Yeah.
And planes, I'm not going to be one to pretend that I know the difference in all the planes, but helicopters, planes, bombers, F-14s, some different military, like you said in your description of the museum. I would assume that most of those ran the gamut. I mean, there are a lot we looked at a few that were built in the 70s, because some of them do have placards of when the aircraft was built, cost, missions served, and other things along those lines. It was very cool to see, but it's just one of those things where, since I'm not familiar with it, but then to see the sheer size, power, then you kind of imagine what it was like to actually be in those times. So that, to me, is the coolest part of the museum.
Definitely.
Right.
Hands down, the coolest part. I mean, not that the inside's not impressive because of some of the stuff they've gathered. I really enjoy seeing things like I pointed out to you, there was a B-17 flight manual, how to fly a B-17 in there, just an old typed up manual. And then the old radio that they call in and are monitoring other flights and everything going on. I mean, that stuff's cool. And the fact that they have it and are preserving it, of course, I'm glad that somebody's there doing it. But the outside and the planes and just the sheer magnitude of some of these planes. I mean, some of them are real big. The propellers are gigantic. It just puts everything in perspective a little bit. But I definitely love that.
The outside portion of the museum where all these planes are located, they also have large placards that's set underneath most all of these planes that tell you, what their description is, what their role in combat was, how much they cost, what's the radius and the weight and loaded weight and wingspan length and all that good stuff. And it's really a good experience for those who haven't been. I was aware of the Aviation Museum. However, I didn't really have an inkling to go until Mary Margaret brought it up last week. And, I looked it up on their website, and I was pumped to go. It was something that Hickory has that we need to really get out the word about, because, it's one of those little, hidden gems of our city that needs to have some recognition.
And they do bring in special exhibits. So we just missed the B-17.
Okay. I didn't know it was recently in the paper on the front page.
I'm pretty sure it was the B-17, but we just missed it, and it was on a tour. Yeah, so this is a tour stop. You will get some things to come through, which are pretty cool, and they are constantly changing the planes and the exhibit stuff, as they said. Now, there's a lot that's the standard, but I've been to the museum several times, and every time I'm outside, I don't feel like I see the same planes, and that stuff's just, I love that. I love planes. I like the old ones, the new ones, some of those ones you see in movies and whatnot, but these are the real deal, and to get super up close and right on top of them, it was just pretty cool.
Right. Just the sheer size of them. And if, you when you see pictures on the internet or whatever, it does not give these planes justice.
No.
Just the sheer size of them. And there are ones that are enormous, and then there's the itty tiny ones that were my favorite. They were just looked like they would just slice through the sky. They were just so neat. Though you can go on the HickoryAviationMuseum.org and see what they call the flight line, which is all these planes that are available to tour at the Hickory Aviation Museum. You can go and you can find out all the information about them before you go, so you have a little bit of point of reference before you go. And it's I would recommend anyone going, honestly.
Well, some things to kind of note about it is one thing that's really cool is it's free.
Yeah, it is free. Free 99.
You just walk in, and I would encourage you, if you have a little bit of cash and you are so inclined, put a donation in their bomb, which they have literally. They said there, right there, that's their donation bomb, and it's a old missile with a slot in it, and you drop money inside of it, which makes it even cooler.
Cool.
But that is, of course, how they are supported, and I would highly encourage you to do that. But one of the gentlemen there was telling us about a group that came out for a birthday party. I was like, well, that's cool. Maybe like a little boy that's just stoked over planes and, jets and things like that, building the little, what are they called?
Gliders.
Model planes
model
and stuff.
planes,
Yeah. That's a cool place for that. So maybe they probably got to sit outside on the picnic tables and
for something like that, they might have, and don't quote me on this, but
Sure.
they might have let them, kind of get up and look in one of the planes. I know I saw the
Absolutely.
ladder that they could roll around and move.
Stairwell.
They weren't open. We didn't go in or even ask about going in and seeing
Allegedly.
any of the planes. But maybe they did something like that.
But I think that's a really cool idea, and also another way to support the museum.
Mm-hmm.
So very cool. Now, Moose, this was your first time here.
It was, yeah.
And McNally and I had been there before, but overall impression.
It was great.
Yeah.
Absolutely great. I'd give it a 6 out of 7.
Nice.
The fellows were very, very accommodating, wanted to help us a lot. Had any questions, answered any questions that we had, and were really eager to help. And that was really nice to see that, there's, a few fellows in there looked like it was almost like a little clubhouse for those guys.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I was just thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
Like one guy even walked in while we were there and he was like, "Hey, Joe," and the other one's like, "Oh, hey, Steve," and he's like, "Oh, just swinging in for a little bit. I got a meeting in a little bit.
Yeah.
I just wanted to kind of stop in." Just like you said, it's like their hangout.
It's like their Elks Lodge.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. Very cool. I agree. I think it's a super cool place. And, just to make it clear, maybe McNally kind of tell people how to get there. And because it's not just walking into the back to go see the planes, but you actually go into the airport.
Yeah, so I was going to say, don't ask me to give directions around Hickory. I love this place, but I'm not going to give street names and directions. But so you go out like you're going to the Crydess Stadium. You go past, keep driving. It runs right in front of the airport. So there is the old one. I guess it's still technically the active terminal building. So you would park wherever. It's just when you're going to face that terminal building, you would go to the right-hand side of the terminal building, and you'll see on there it has a sign for Aviation Museum. You enter, and it's on just that far right building. It's not a large room, all things considered, within that terminal. But you go through the museum first, and then the back door goes right out to outside where they've got all those planes stored. And it's funny. I mean, we were sitting out there in the room looking out. I was like, oh, there's a couple planes out there. But you see then a couple of those planes are hiding.
Yeah.
10 more. I mean,
They were stacked
I was
out there.
impressed with that.
There was a lot, yeah. I took some pictures. I'll put them in a little post or something for this.
It's just cool having something
proof.
like that here. I mean, like Moose said, even a little tongue in cheek, but it is serious. It's not the aviation.
Yeah, it's not the
Space
Smithsonian.
Aviation Museum up in D.C.
Right.
or anything along those lines. It's just cool to have options. I mean, that's really at the end of the day. Not everything is for everybody, but to have something like this that does change, that does engage some people very much so, like the folks that are there, in a great opportunity, again, like I said, to kill time with kids or guests, and you're just out and about looking for something to do. I mean, having options like that.
Yeah, it's killing time with mom and dad, maybe.
It's those sort of things that really give the city its charm. It's not, they have these two things and that's it. Even if you don't necessarily like everything, go out and see it, know what's going on in the community, having those options. I mean, we're very blessed in this community.
And I think that it's pretty cool that a lot of the stuff is Hickory guys, Hickory girls, Hickory people that have served or donated.
Right.
And truly that they have donated this to this museum because they believe in it too. So I think that's pretty neat because you're looking at truly the history of where you are. So I I agree. I think we're very blessed to have this type of thing here and available to us, and it's free. Moose,
Rookie move.
do you have your phone on?
No, that wasn't me. That was next door.
Rookie.
God, how many times have we been doing this podcast? Was that your own face on the phone?
Yeah, it comes up whenever there's a work call.
As your face?
Oh,
Well, it's just the way that the Grasshopper account's set up.
Nope.
Oh my goodness.
Congratulations, Jay. Here's an editing opportunity for you.
Absolutely not. You are absolutely not editing this out, Jay. You're keeping it in because Moose just had his phone on during a podcast recording.
Yeah, that's my fault.
Anywho.
Oh, you know what I forgot today?
Yes.
Even though it's not necessarily Hickory, I think it was the Enola Gay, Hiroshima.
The Enola Gay, yes.
I forgot that the pilot was from North Carolina and not far away, Davie County, Moxville.
Nice.
That was something.
They had several pieces from that in
They
there.
did.
And, you know, I mean, these names, back on the Aviation Museum, obviously, a lot of the names that you'll hear in there, the Memphis Belle, the Enola Gay, B-17s, different stuff like that. It's all stuff that even younger kids hear about. We all know or have learned about, or at least our generation has. So I can really appreciate it. And we really encourage you to go out there and visit. Check it out. You can go on their website. I think they open at like 10 o'clock every day, 10 to 3, something like that. But it's open. You know, you just go in anytime. We walked in, I said hello. The guy in the background somewhere said, hey.
Come on in.
Come
sign
on
the guest
in.
book.
Yeah, sign the guest book and take
Ask
a walk
us if you have
around.
questions, right? Take all the pictures you want.
That's right. It's
very cool.
So, very cool. We encourage you to visit the Hickory Aviation Museum located at the Hickory Regional Airport in Hickory.
Hickory.
Beautiful.
Awesome.
Look at that. That was
We'll
our
figure
first.
out what the next one's going to be.
That was our first adventure segment.
Adventures out and
Destinations and sandwiches.
Whatever.
That's
whatever
not going to
we're
be the
call it.
official title, but we will take all suggestions, inclinging that one, Moose.
Definitely.
Duly noted.
Moose's goes on the bottom of the pile. Okay, so that is a little bit of what we'll be doing on our next time that we don't have a guest. We'll be coming up with some ideas of some places we can go. We're going to stay away from like commerce. Like we're not going to like stores and shops and stuff, but experiences, things in Hickory or even right around the surrounding area that we think you could get out and do with your friends, your family, whatever. So there's our first one.
I like it.
Excellent.
We'll get back to your show in a moment. Just a reminder, you're listening to The Mesh, an online media network of shows and programs ranging from business to arts, sports to entertainment, music to community. All programs are available on the website as well as through iTunes and YouTube. Find out more at themesh.tv and give us feedback on what you like. And now, as promised, back to your show.
So, Moose, you know of anything happening coming up here? It's fall.
It is
October.
fall, y'all.
It's fall, y'all. If I've seen that once, oh my goodness.
No doubt. So just a few points of note that needs to be shouted out here. The Foothills Folk Art Festival is this weekend in downtown Newton, 10 to 4. All sorts of local folk art artists and live music, food.
Wonderful live music, right?
Wonderful live music.
That's what I hear.
Debatable. Music is subjective.
I mean, it's what you get what you pay for.
You do get what you pay for. Yeah, it is free, and Moose and Friends are headlining 3 to 4.
Oh, is that so?
So it is free. So it might be the last time you get to see Moose and Friends for free. I'm just kidding. You'll get to see us a lot for free.
Last time.
The following weekend is Hickory's Oktoberfest. You can see live music and all kinds of food
Hickory's
and
Oktoberfest,
ride.
not to be confused with Germany's.
Not to be confused with Berlin's Oktoberfest.
The real deal.
Exactly.
That's right. There is an Oompa band every day at the
Heck
Hickory
yeah, there
Oktoberfest.
is.
So check that out, downtown Hickory. Very kid friendly. Get to do a lot of people watching at the Hickory Oktoberfest. So come out and check that out. Also check the Hickory Metro Convention Center and Visitors Bureau website to help supplement this event segment. And one really caught my eye was the corn maze. And I'm assuming that this is not to be confused with other corn mazes. This is the one at Saunders Farm here in Hickory, located in 127 South. I think that is in the Mountain View area.
View, yeah.
Yep. So you guys go check that out, and you can find all other Hickory events on the Hickory Metro Convention Center and Visitors Bureau's website. And we would be remiss without mentioning LR's Homecoming is coming up the same weekend as Hickory Oktoberfest. So all those LR alums, if you don't think that Homecoming is enough to bring you back to Hickory, Oktoberfest is also that weekend.
And the Bears are good.
And the Bears are real good.
Why don't you tell them a little bit about this last game?
Coaching makes it nice.
Coach Cronic has brought the heat to us.
He's real deal.
He is. I haven't had the chance to meet the fellow, but every time I see him speak or hear anything about him, it's always super positive. It seems like that he's brought a culture of winning back to LR, which is nice. He's super focused on getting kids in the classroom. Academics come first in his program, and I think all the kids have bought into it, and they're playing hard. The stands were jam packed this weekend. Night game on Saturday night, which helped. The Bears Club field was packed.
It was sweaty. It was hot.
It was hot. There was
Sticky
a lot of folks out there supporting the old LR Bears between the bricks. So the Bears are away this week, which would be the weekend of October 6th, but are home every other weekend following. So there's some events, but I think we need to talk about what we had for lunch today.
Okay.
What do you think?
It was my choice today.
It was yours.
My choice today. And today, I think so too. It really is. I talk about the problems I have with it in just a minute, but it's problems / pluses. Yeah. So today we had lunch at Cafe Gouda.
Gouda.
It was very Gouda. Yes. Gouda Fuda.
Yeah.
Cafe Gouda, located down on 127 in Viewmont, right in front of the Steinmart, Hickory Tavern.
The Bell Hollow
Shopping Center, yes. So we met up there, all went and stood in line, as you do at Cafe Gouda, to place your order, and noticed the specials board. And I'm happy to report that we all got something different today, and all had at least one thing off of the specials menu.
For sure.
Bravo us.
It was a very good special board. I mean, not always all special boards,
Agreed.
Regardless of the restaurant.
Some special boards are getting rid of what they didn't use yesterday.
Yeah, for sure.
And the fourth thing on the special item, or specials board, I would have taken that down too.
Yeah.
Agreed. Yeah, I had a hard time choosing actually which one I was going to get off the special board.
Yeah, Cafe Good is super great at that. They post their specials every single day, so you know exactly what you're going to get or have a choice of on Facebook. Facebook. Yeah, for sure. And it's there every day.
Mm-hmm. Like I told you guys before I chose where we were going today, I actually checked Facebook, saw the specials board, and was like, yep, that's good. We'll go there. So I will say that this is one of our family favorite locations. I tend to go there a good bit for breakfast in the morning. And my favorite thing to get for breakfast, I know this is off topic, but I do have to give it a shout out.
I'm giving it a shout out.
Okay, great. Okay, so my favorite Gouda breakfast is the wrap, RAPP, which is...
What's up, Margie?
Which is peanut butter, banana, honey, yogurt, and granola rolled in on a tortilla. Yeah, and it's rolled and it's gigantic, and it's the best thing ever, and get your day started off great. And they always have a really nice coffee selection as well, and little to-go sides to grab if you need fruit cups or pasta salad, chips, things like that. But the wrap on breakfast is my favorite. Let's go ahead and do our breakfast. Even though,
Oh, okay. Are we? Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll be happy to go do that. The banana and walnut pancakes that they make. Oh,
interesting. Never had that.
Man, they're so good. And they also have a lot of. I'm a big eater when it comes to meat. Obviously, we've talked about this before, but they also have turkey sausage and turkey bacon and all that, all those healthier options. And the sandwiches that they make with those meats are ridiculous. I get the sausage. My favorite sandwich, my favorite breakfast sandwich from there is the fried egg, turkey sausage, tomato, and hot sauce. That thing is really good. So good.
Boom. McNally, what's your breakfast go-to?
I'm going to forget the names because if you haven't been there, their chalkboard menu is legit. I mean,
It's a
there's a
little
lot on there.
overwhelming.
If you don't hone in on something quick, you can get lost.
Absolutely.
That's why when the special board is on point, it's nice because it's right there and it's a smaller selection.
That's right.
I mean, but that's the good thing. There's a lot of choices. So I'm going to forget the name, whether it's the Harley or something.
There's a Harley.
The Harley, I think is what. I just can't remember which one it is. That's their breakfast sandwiches to me are
They're
awesome.
Best in town.
Sourdough breads, and they just load them up, and they're awesome. Or the granola bowl, which is simple. It's yogurt, granola, and fruit, but it will fill you up.
Yeah.
No, I love going there for breakfast
it's just
with coffee.
Everything's super fresh. You know, I mean, everything's fresh. The little window's open. I can see the man back there with the braided beard. He's back there every morning, every afternoon, and he's got, everything's fresh. And so it just tastes that much better. It's really good. Mm-hmm. Okay, so back to lunch. Now that we're drooling again over our breakfast time,
I know what I'm doing for breakfast
I was
tomorrow.
about to say, I know we'll all see each other there tomorrow probably. Be like,
Us and Lee Crump from Hickory Fireplace and Patio. You want to?
He's always there.
I don't know how they can afford it. Every breakfast.
The Jarretts are also frequenters,
Always.
like Dale Jarrett and stuff. Yeah. So
see if you want to rub elbows with
Rubbin's Racing.
Boogity boogity.
That was a good setup right there.
Rubbin's Racing. Just don't ask him to look left. Yeah. Anyway.
I mean, right?
Or right. They'll always look left.
Go fast and turn left.
Go fast. Well, I mean, I don't know as much about NASCAR as I should, being from this area. However, I digress. We'll see you tomorrow morning. So for lunch today, on the special, we did forget to take a picture of the special board where we had the names written down.
Because they put everything inside each item, which is nice.
Absolutely.
You're not guessing. It's all written out there for you.
Yes. But I will tell you that I had what was called the squirrel wrap. This was a, what's the green tortilla?
Spinach,
thank you.
Yeah.
Spinach tortilla with turkey, lettuce, spinach, strawberries, nuts, and a poppy seed dressing. Okay,
Fancy.
there were several kinds of nuts in there, and they were kind of
Were there any hickory nuts in there?
maybe
Hey.
hickory nut eating it. But it was delicious. It was really, really good. The poppy seed dressing was fantastic on those fresh strawberries. That's what was kind of poured over the strawberries and the nuts together. It was so good. Lots of turkey on it and just very fresh tasting and crisp, and had that little bit of crunch in there from the nuts, which I just love. I also got off the special board because I can't turn down a soup. Is that this was the Cafe Gouda red pepper soup. Was it bisque?
Bisque.
Was it
Yeah,
a bisque?
Gouda bisque, right?
I think it was.
So
I think it was
you had a
Gouda
bisque.
cheese and red pepper.
Yeah. So you had a bisque.
I
We'll
had
talk about
lobster
later.
bisque,
Yeah. But it was phenomenal. Had great red pepper chunks in it, and just hot enough. Came out in a nice bowl. It's not in a to go bowl, styrofoam type stuff. So it was excellent. I enjoyed mine. Moose?
Yeah, I had the magic mushroom sandwich off the special board. It was great. It was on toasted wheat bread. It had turkey, mushrooms, lettuce, tomato, cheese. It was fantastic. Came with a huge pickle spear.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I thought that's always a plus.
Big plus.
Always a plus. It was the portion. The sandwich is huge, and it's filling. You didn't need a side. I would eat it again for sure.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Magic mushroom. McNally?
So, as we kind of discussed when I was ordering it, one of the special items was a Cuban sandwich. And I have a weakness for Cuban sandwiches. And some are just not good. This one...
You've ordered them several places we've been.
Yes.
Right.
And usually it's it's about 50-50.
Some have been okay.
Yeah. And I also ordered like a cup, but I got the other soup, which was the lobster bisque. The lobster bisque had a good taste or flavor to it. There was definitely no chunks, chewing, anything along those lines. So it had that flavor to it, but
Pureed down.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, might have.
And a good flavor though, like it was.
It was a good
soup?
flavor. I mean,
yeah.
I wouldn't go out of my way to go and get it again, but I wasn't disappointed.
Right.
Eating
You
that
ate it
and
all.
having. Oh yeah, I mean, surprise, surprise. Yeah, it would have to be really bad. But it was good. It was a good, like you said, accompaniment to your sandwich. The Cuban was awesome, and almost sitting there thinking it was a slightly different. They're all slightly different, especially when you're going to all these other restaurants that bring in a Cuban sandwich. It was Goudaized.
Wait, tell me what a Cuban by definition is.
All right, the Cuban sandwich has some sort of ham,
Okay.
pork. So some places it's shredded pork. Usually it's some sort of sliced pork loin, along those lines.
Okay. Both ham and pork.
Swiss cheese, spicy mustard, pickle.
Huh.
That's a Cuban sandwich. So Gouda actually did. It was on the sourdough bread, like the big Texas toast size bread, which their breakfast sandwich. I mean, that's why I say it was Goudaized. It was this really nice buttered piece of sourdough bread. They used a honey mustard, which was slightly different. Didn't use the Dijon mustard. So at first I wasn't sure about that, but again, had no problem. And by the end, I was like, I would definitely run that one back. Good amount of pickles. I mean, everything was done fabulously on the sandwich. If anything, if I would complain about anything on there, is that there were some sections where there was just bread bites.
Sure. Yeah.
So, I mean, a little more spreading out of, but that is me being just...
That's trying to find something, right?
That's me picking nits
that
don't necessarily need to be picked. The sandwich was awesome.
That's awesome.
Yes.
We all cleaned our plates. I mean, it was just good food. It's consistently good. Now, their stuff changes. You can get different things, and Moose made a good point while we were eating. They'll fix anything for you.
Within reason, of course.
Exactly, right. But, I mean, if you see something on the menu that you're just like, oh, all of that looks great, but I don't want spinach. Well, they won't fix it with spinach, you know. Or if you, reverse,
like
see
two
something
things on each, like three
exactly.
sandwiches, make a sandwich.
If you see something that you want to add, they'll add it for you.
For sure.
So that is, it's nice. They're friendly. They are quick. I mean, we got down, the lunch did not take long, and it was a pretty busy day at Gouda, I would think.
Which is kind of an average day. I mean, they've got a good following.
Yeah, they have a great following, very loyal people, and they are also known around town as the place that you can put your poster in the window.
That's true.
So if you have an event going on, you can find your poster in the Gouda window. Which, again, hey, thank you for supporting the area.
Absolutely. That's community partnerships there.
Absolutely.
That's why I say, I mean, it really is. It's a Hickory institution.
Yeah. So you do have to plan for it a little bit when you're driving. If you're one of those families that gets out and says, "Meh, I don't know what y'all want. Like we're just out and about. Let's grab a bite to eat while we're here." It is within a shopping center parking lot that you have to kind of come in from one angle or the other to get in, and it's not just off the main road. So,
well, and we have to think about it too. Like we talked about, whenever I think of Gouda, I never go there for lunch, never go there for dinner. I think I've been once in my life, a handful of times for lunch. It's always I think of Gouda for breakfast, and I never think of it for the other meals. So I mean, that's something too. Is like it has great options throughout the whole day.
Yeah, absolutely.
But because of that, you can get lost on.
Well, speaking of dinner, one of their fantastic things, if I could recommend to anybody, is their pasta selection for dinner. You can pick your pasta, which type of pasta, like penne, fettuccine, spaghetti, whatever, and then you pick your sauce, and they have, marinara, Alfredo, butter, garlic, oil, garlic, all this stuff. And then you can also add a protein to it if you want. So, I love their shrimp penne with the butter, garlic, olive oil sauce. And it's just a perfect portion. It's always cooked beautifully and is just the right amount, and it's so good. And it's such a quaint, nice place to grab dinner. It's affordable. It is
Inside-outside seating.
inside-outside seating, and they have a kids menu.
And a relatively simple one. They don't try to outthink themselves.
Don't try to be fancy on it. They've got peanut butter and jelly, grilled cheese,
hot dog, I think you can get.
pizza, maybe.
Pizza.
Yeah.
And then you just name the pasta. That's
And the pasta,
covers
yeah.
half the kid.
And that's pretty much going to cover anybody and make them happy. Plus, or your kids might like a turkey or ham sandwich and stuff, which they can make too. So it's fun for the whole family. It's easy. They got a TV on in there that stays on like Weather Channel or news stuff, which is nice in the mornings too. So anyway, I can't say enough good stuff about Cafe Gouda.
I would agree. And they also do have live music on Saturday nights as well, and it's 7 to 10 outside, weather permitting. And it's a really good time. They have small acoustic acts usually, and they have that, and they have two different what's the word I'm looking for? Two different seasons, if you will. They have a spring season and a fall season. They try to not have any music outside when it's just so hot. So look for them in the spring, yeah.
And some wine and beer served there
yeah.
too.
They do have a wine and beer selection there too.
Which is nice. Again, just to go sit outside or have a drink sitting there while you're eating dinner with someone or something. It is nice. So anyway, it is located, like we said before, in the Bell Hollow Shopping Center. It's next to Da Vinci's, actually. Da Vinci's and the Urgent Care and Hickory Tavern stuff. So great little corner in there. It's not much going wrong in that area.
No.
So definitely encourage you to go there. McNally, what is your score for Cafe Gouda?
For Gouda, it's a 9.5 out of 10. But really, the only thing at all setting it back for me is it's a little pricey. It can be pricey. I mean, it's not bad. To me, it's
tell
worth
them
the
what
money.
Your meal was today.
So the sandwich was $9. The soup was
$8.99 or something like that. Yeah.
something. And then, I got a soda with that. I mean, it's $15 for me. So, I mean, work lunch, the work breakfast, it's an easy excuse, whether you're paying for it or somebody else is. But, I mean, if you're sitting there taking a family of 5, you're not coming out of there super cheap.
You got to plan it appropriately. It's
right.
If you're going to go there and you want the sandwich and a drink, you're coming out $10, right?
And breakfast would be the same, $7 plus 2 something for coffee,
whatever, right?
Yeah.
So it depends on what route you're going, but I will encourage
awesome,
people.
I love Gouda.
Absolutely. I would encourage people to understand, though, that if you're going to get a sandwich and you think you need like chips or side item with it because you're just worried about how big it's going to be, don't. Because the sandwich will be large enough to fill you up. If you feel like ordering that side, that's fine. But if you are looking to just go in a little bit quicker and cheaper,
they don't skimp
maybe.
on the size of the portion.
Absolutely not. Yeah. So good call. I would give it a 9 out of 10. I think it's great. Yeah. Good music selection.
Yeah, for sure. I give it a solid 6 out of 7. Margie's been nothing but great for our community, and the food she puts out is fantastic. She's great with the live music community, and she's really
there
trying
to
do
say hello too.
Yeah, for sure, and she's there all the time. Her and her husband Bill are great people. I've known them a long time, and wish nothing but the best for the Cafe Gouda. Also on the special board today was the fish tacos, so they have
That's
all
what I'm saying. I would have crushed that today if I
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I know, and I think we all three of us were like,
we all debated.
we could totally do
We
that.
all debated that one.
Yeah.
By the way, Moose, that's an official 8.5.
8.5. Are you going to start doing conversions?
Yeah, for the normal people out there.
Thank you. That sounds fantastic. I bet everybody would.
8.57. I mean,
Yeah,
Okay.
I think that's low still, though.
It is.
We'll work on
That's
that.
why I
We'll
want you
work
to
on that.
realize your
We'll work
scale
on
is
that.
ridiculous.
We'll work on that. It's not ridiculous, but we'll talk about that later.
I'll let you
It's a
boys
solid
handle
B.
that later.
Way to go.
Way to give Gouda a B.
How dare you? How dare you?
No, how dare you?
How dare me?
Yeah.
All right.
All right, so that's it. That's our skimped on show today. I think it was still hearty enough.
Yeah, long.
Hearty enough to give the people what they want.
Ooh, I like it.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Okay, so again, please get out and take your family, visit by yourself. It's a very quick and easy trip if you want to go check out the Hickory Aviation Museum, and then maybe follow it up with some dinner at Gouda or grab some lunch or breakfast there. I'm sure you'll see one of us there at some point.
They are open 3 meals a day, 7 days a week.
Absolutely. I
so
mean, it's pretty easy to run into some of us there.
That's right.
So, again, we are Street Circle Drive here on The Mesh. We hope that you're enjoying the show and listening to all the other shows that we have to offer on this podcast network, on all the different platforms that we have to listen to them. If you have any questions or feedback, ideas, segment names, whatever you want to throw out, you can give us a call at 828-619-0048. Leave us a voicemail, or you can email us at info@themesh.tv. You can also find us on all sorts of social media. Like I said, we're on the gram, we're on the book,
Doing it for the gram.
and we're with the twit. I mean, I was trying to get
I
clever.
saw phone ring during the twit right there.
The gram and the book. Yeah. So yeah, I think, that you can, I was going to say we could all go out giving one more of our favorite songs, but maybe you just give people
I see you have your phone. Are you going to play one
I was
of
going
yours?
to try to play somebody's. I was trying to remember who we had, but I've got mine pulled up because after we talked about it, I actually listened to it in the car twice. So.
Oh, yes. This is the one that I was making fun of you about.
Oh, you pictured me as a
As a middle
horrible
schooler,
sixth grader after the school
crying
dance.
with a scrunchie in your hair.
It's like you can see the past.
I can feel the
AC
angst.
Slater poster above the bed.
I would have never had Slater above my bed. It's absolutely
She
Zach.
was Team Screech all the way.
Team Zach.
No. Anyway, all right, guys. So we are going to head out, but catch us next time on Street Circle Drive. Until then, say goodbye, boys.
Goodbye, boys.
Later on, Hickory Nuts.
You've been listening to The Mesh, an online media network of shows and programs ranging from business to arts, sports to entertainment, music to community. All programs are available on the website as well as through iTunes and YouTube. Check us out online at themesh.tv. Discover other network shows and give us feedback on what you just heard.